All right, boys and girls. Goal number 11 is dealing with simplify positive and negative rational exponents. Now, this goal, get your calculators ready. It is a calculator-based goal. We can do it by hand, which I am going to show you how to do, but I want you to be able to do this by calculator as well. So, when we look at a problem like letter A, they call it a rational exponent because it is a fraction exponent. The way to simplify this by hand is using the key of this number right here, that 3. What we're going to try to do is determine if we can take 125 and write it as some base with a power of 3 so that somehow the 3's will cancel. 125 is really 5 to the third power, because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, and we raise that to the 2/3 power. Now these powers will cancel each other out because we multiply a power to a power, which will leave us then with 5 to the second power, which means the answer is just 25. Same thing with 27. We're going to work with this 3 right here, and we're wondering what can I write 27 as so it has a base of whatever and a power of 3. Well, 27 is really 3 to the third power, raised to the 4/3 power, and again, a power raised to a power, these will just cancel, leaving me with 3 to the 4th, which is just 81. Letter C, same idea. We're going to work with this 2 here. All right, 16 needs to be some number raised to the second power ultimately. 16 is really 4 to the second, which gives us -3 to the second times 2, or -3 over 2 times 2. The 2's would cancel, leaving the 4 to the -3. Now we learned in our previous goals that when we have a negative power, we move it down to the bottom. So we have 4 over 3, and that will simplify, and become 1 over 64. This is our final answer. Same thing with letter D. We're trying to find from this 2, 49 has to be something raised to the second power. That just happens to be 7 to the second power. That will be to the -1/2. The powers cancel. 7 to the -1. Negative exponent means we move it down to the bottom, and we end up with 1 over 7 to the first, which is just 1 over 7. Now, I said to you this was a calculator-based one. Now, you can do it by hand. This is a good way to check it, is by calculator. There's 2 ways that you can go about doing this, and it really depends on your operating system. If we go 125 and we're going to raise it, this is the button for raising, this little caret right here, raised. And you'll see how it creates a box up at the top here. Let me zoom in on so you can see it. It creates a box on the top. We're going to say 2 divided by 3, and it should do it right away for us. We know the answer is 25. And that's what we had right here, was 25. But what about when I don't have this on the top? That's because you don't have the updated operating system. I'm going to change it so that if you go into mode right here, go mode, and go all the way down, you may have the operating system, but might not be set. If yours is set to classic, it won't do that box. If it's set to math print, it'll do that box. So watch what happens now when I go 125 raised to the 2 over 3. You can see we didn't get that little box at the top. Instead, it does it like this. And you see we get a completely different answer. That's because your calculator doesn't understand the orders of operation, that 2/3 is actually the power. And so we have to tell our calculator to keep this grouped as our power, that 2/3 stays together. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to put parentheses around it so your calculator will know to keep 2/3 as the power. And you'll see instead we get 25. Do this for each one of the problems and you'll see we should get the exact same answers. So we do 27 raised to the 4 over 3. Getting a glare there. And we get 81 just like we had. Let me zoom out a little now that you've seen that box, and let me put it back to that math type. Okay, letter C, let's check our answer. We had 16 raised to the -3 over 2. We got a decimal. Remember, to convert it, we hit math, enter, enter, and we end up with 1 over 64. And then let's do it again for the other one, 49 raised to the -1 over 2. We get a decimal, so we hit math, enter, enter, and we get 1/7. Hopefully this helps. Make sure that you have the updated operating system on your calculator. It definitely helps with problems like in Goal 11. Take care.